Good morning, ignorant millennials. Welcome back.
Welcome back, ignorant millennials. On to part 2. Remember, ignorant millennials, your latest, freshest episode. Guys, please like and subscribe onto our platform, on all the platforms. We are doing part 2 of our 4th Industrial Revolution episode. We're your hosts. I'm Bafana. This is Kat.
Yeah, I'm Kat.
Guys, we have Trevor.
I'm Trevor, yeah.
Thank you for part 1, man. That was a nice show. Guys, if you haven't watched part 1, this one makes sense. Go and watch it. First, enjoy it, and then come back. And then let's continue the conversation. So, guys, where we left it off, it's quite with a lot of tension. But now...
There's no tension. Was it tension, Kat?
Nah. It was constructive arguments.
You guys acting friendly. But this is good, right?
Yeah.
So, but now we want to just make it more practical.
Right.
Give some direction on what can people expect now. And what's going to happen in the short term.
Right.
And we were just discussing earlier how I still think most people don't understand what it is, but also with the impact of technology, there are some areas of employment or professions where people don't think they're going to be affected at all. I don't know if there are some that you guys can top of mind think of that are like the impact is actually imminent.
So obviously, this was more of the third industrial, your bank tellers, that one we've seen. So there's also obviously right now there's going to be, besides your bank tellers, your accountants as well. I think anybody who works especially in the banking sector and financial service sector, they would have seen with the how aggressive SAP has been, and even with the technology that has come through with SAP, you could see that one is coming as well. And there's quite a lot, Trevor. I don't know. This is where you tell me.
No, I don't know nothing about nothing. But I think a lot of people are going to be affected, and I think for me the key is affected doesn't necessarily mean out of a job. Okay. In some cases it will. I think 4th Industrial Revolution specifically will affect things that are quite data-driven, sort of high knowledge industries, like even actuarial sciences.
Don't scare them.
Oh no, there is already a company somewhere. I don't know, I can't remember the details, but it exists that does the calculations that actuaries do. It's just that no one trusts it because it's a computer. But with time, people didn't trust cell phones, and now you do everything on a cell phone.
Can't live without it. True.
So with time, that's going to be a thing, and that's going to eat their lunch. But like I say, I really don't think affect needs to mean out of a job. It just means your job is reconfigured. The way you interact with your work is changed. And I think we later on we should get into what that change will be. But for now, let's maybe just look at what it is.
Okay. And another thing we almost touched on was, are we ready? Like right now, are we ready for? Our kids ready? Are you and me ready? Kat, do you feel prepared for what's coming?
No.
What do you think would it take though to feel prepared? What does even prepared mean?
So from my side, I don't think we're ready. Let's look at this the 4th Industrial Revolution is here per se, right? But our education system is not equipped for people to be able to be resourceful as it's happening and so forth. Because when we're still thinking of jobs, we're still thinking of your traditional jobs. And if we live unfortunately in a third world country, and like most people cannot go through to varsity and so forth. So then if you don't go through varsity, the thing is you'll go and work at a bank if you're very lucky. You'll become a cleaner. You'll be call center. You'll go become a policeman. And all these things are things that going to be replaced by the 4th Industrial. Policeman, call center, we've already seen it as well. And
cleaners hopefully will still have a job, right?
No.
Cleaners are also...
Yes.
How are cleaners going to be...
It's coming for everybody.
It's coming for everybody.
Okay, but how? Explain cleaners, for example.
How?
An automated cleaner,
in homes, you already have things that you can put on the ground, and it just goes, moves the whole, through the whole
and
house.
that's been there.
It's been there. So that's just going going to be industrialized, and then at some point it's going to be like, okay, when umsebenzi wako is to just make sure the thing is working.
That's it.
Which means you get less money, blah, blah, blah.
What about
could mean that? Yeah.
And even like weird things, even like the law, right? Someone was like, because you'd never even think like that type of profession was to be at risk, but it is. Like I think with the fourth industrial revolution in itself, like mobile, like so many things are now catered and built for to come and live inside your own space, which is largely on our phones, right? Now you can have an app that gives you consultations and opinions on like a lot of things you would have maybe gone to an expert, and it's right at your hand. So now everyone is almost going to be redundant in one way or another. Transport, I don't even need to go there, right? We've all seen how Uber has changed how we look at transportation, and I think that in itself is a good example of the resistance and like conflict that will come in each of the separate worlds this comes in, because the taxi drivers are still not happy, right? And how many of them have actually made peace with this?
So I think just to step in and tie in with the previous question, I think it talks to the previous question of readiness. Are we ready? Because taxi drivers or cab drivers are clearly not ready for Uber. For me, readiness, that's where the government comes in. So when you see the government trying to have an active role, that's okay, but for me, that's not really what government should be doing. Government should be creating the environment that enables, legislation, whatever support the industries need, rather than trying to be the ones that make the change. Because the types of changes that are coming are not changes that are sort of we sit down and say, okay, cool, we're going to invent something, let's sit down and think about it and invent it. It generally is someone going about their business, and then they need to improve the way they're doing whatever they're doing, and then in that they find a new thing. And to speak again to readiness, that's kind of like it's a little bit of a problem if we approach it as, okay, there is this thing specifically, it is coding, it is new Uber, it is whatever it is, because it's always a moving target. We didn't know about Uber before Uber, so we couldn't have prepared for Uber specifically. I think in order to become ready for this new change, what we need to do with education, tying that in as well, is to educate people to be more creative and to be more resourceful, as Kat was saying. That's where we need to get our focus in, to make sure that we're more creative and more resourceful, and whatever change comes, we're poised to take advantage of it rather than to be taken advantage of by it.
Good. And so now you touched on education, right? So I think maybe let's also then highlight like some of the main type of areas that are in everyone's life. How can this fourth industrial revolution in itself improve education? And by education, I want us to think outside of just a classroom, right? So how is that going to change the experience of education? Because right now, so I've started teaching myself French, right? I'll say something cute at the end, but like you can download an app that can just teach you like how to learn basic phrases, and that in itself is a benefit, right? Teachers or language teachers or anything otherwise have now the tools to actually use a different platform to support a wider base of people. It makes the experience cheaper, easier, more fun, and a profession which was once considered to be not as lucrative, a teacher can now actually make so much money through technology and how we are able to engage with it. I don't know what you guys think outside of education, what other areas stand to benefit? What will be the impact, like practically?
What areas tend to benefit from the 4IR, Fourth Industrial Revolution? Pretty much all areas of life are changing, not will change, are changing.
Give an example, even like a personal one that you've used.
Well, for me, YouTube is a simple example. It's it's arguable whether it's 4IR or not, but I learn a lot of stuff on YouTube, and there's a lot of there's a huge amount of knowledge that human beings have accumulated that's just sitting on YouTube waiting for you to search for it. So that's one. And Wikipedia is another example. That's an amazing resource made by hundreds of thousands of people who just wrote about what they care about, and that's it. So I think for me, education is really key, and there's so much stuff to fix in education. Just from classrooms, first of all, to not having pit toilets in education, to fee-free education. Why wouldn't anyone want that? Because that's an investment into the country's future. More people who know stuff, the more people can do stuff, and we make lots of money from that. So education is a big deal. It's a very big deal, and we need to focus on that and how we can improve education. Like, if you think about it, we have a shortage of teachers.
Yes.
Or at least, let's put it this way, we've got a shortage of good teachers. Why not integrate, as you were talking about, how many teachers can earn extra money by sort of doing online courses or whatever the case? Why not integrate that into our current learning? If we identify a good teacher in an area, then that teacher can stream their lesson to the schools around them, and the other teachers can be there to help the students through the lesson, that kind of thing. So we need to be thinking about that, but on a much bigger scale, we need to be thinking about what we're teaching kids, the curriculum. Yeah.
So I think in terms of things that can be like addressed or changed, pretty much the fourth industrial revolution, from where I'm sitting, the creative is going to be the guys that are going to benefit. So I think even in school, like, we need to now start looking at performing arts and whatever, and encouraging those, and your likes of your soccer, because I don't even think soccer would be played by, it would be entertaining, but it won't be as entertaining as the humans.
It'll be more entertaining because they can hurt each other.
So I think we need to work on things that were called talents.
Yeah,
people need to refine their talents and also increase their skill. And those that don't have those talents, we all have a talent. You need to identify your talent and make use of that. Because think about it, like, as we say, like, some people are gonna lose jobs and whatever. And so what happens if we lose jobs? And there's now people, there's cleaners, there's things that clean for you. Even when you're home, you're literally not gonna be cleaning your house or whatever. It's gonna get to that point. So basically we're gonna be doing is just live for entertainment and so forth. So I think those that needs to be like encouraged, that people need to explore their talents. And I also think from even logic and reasoning needs to be, because I mean to code, it's more about your logic, right? Because I'll just like take it like on a high level. Like, basically, like, if you're gonna code like a robot to do something, you write him basically instructions like to it. Like, you first, like, if I say you must go to when you get to a robot, you must stop, right? I need to say, you need to first, if it's a manual, step on that latch, and like we need to like
break it down.
Yeah, you need to break it. You need to break it down. Yeah. So we need to refine our education system where logical thinking and reasoning is also allowed, as well as
creativity.
As well as data analytics. I mean, for
that's
right now,
a big one.
Yeah, because even right now, if you're Insta Labs, as much as people shine on Insta Labs or whatever, that is actually going to be the way to make money and whatever.
Yes,
like,
absolutely.
if you've been looking down, you will probably end up having to be an Insta Lab yourself when you're unemployed and whatever. If it suddenly gets to that, because even with that, you need to, like, on Instagram, right? What basically happens, even your marketing, whatever, if you go on your Instagram page, there's the analytics page. You need to now understand, okay, fine, what does this mean? If there's only saying that, like, there's people only from Pretoria mostly viewing my statuses, okay, why is that? Like you need to, so that's where even your logic and reasoning also gets in terms of your data analysis, because now that's what it's all gonna be. It's like, what do these numbers tell me, and now how can I use them to my advantage?
So,
I'm glad you're embracing it now, hey? Man, and I think I think that is the attitude and approach that's really gonna make people survive and even thrive with what's coming, because it is happening. It's here already, and I think maybe a bigger issue is that we keep on saying that it's coming, and it's been, and now we just are at the stage where we're seeing a lot of it come to life, right? We touched on even farmers and how farmers, due to like drone technology and data analytics, to your point, are able to use these things to fly over their crops. They're able to manage their produce like a lot better. People have more insights. They can treat things better. You can produce more. So that also is an addition to the economy. However, I think, to your point, of the people that are going to get disrupted, right? So cashiers, bookkeepers, clerks, assistants, accountants, and doctors. There's a portion of it, right? Lawyers, we touched on it. There's a portion of it.
Yeah, that I think we've seen as well.
So now there's the guys who've been software developers or like engineers and technicians, and what is it? It was even a technician. So it's the different pockets where we need to then understand, and I guess our platform is to then help interpret our platform. To what extent and how is that being affected? Because I myself, in our CA profession, there's parts of technology and fourth industrial revolution that's going to make things better. I now, to Trevor's point, need to focus on which parts of what I do can I focus on a lot better to add value and let the monotonous things just like be done by a robot. Essentially, this whole thing is to make everyone's lives better, more efficient, and the way we embrace it is how we can grow our lives better, but more practically. What does a cashier do now?
So that's a brilliant question, and I've actually been hoping someone would ask that question. So for me, just to double click on what Kat was saying now, is we need to emphasize creativity and sort of resourcefulness, right? So if you're a cashier, maybe a cashier is a terrible example, but like if you're a call center agent, for example, like to keep it super practical now, if let's say you're a call center agent, and we know MultiChoice is just about to fire 2,000 of them in 2 months or something like that. Obviously they're not firing everybody. You'll find that the people that they are not firing are the ones who've been consistently adding value creatively. So let's just map out the scenario. You're a call center agent. They now have this website where people go and click and ask all the questions that you would have been answering before, right? So what do you do as a call center agent in that scenario? You embrace the change. You are the first person to point out the weaknesses of this software and say, look, sure, the software can get all this data, but people don't understand this specific question, and the way you're phrasing it here doesn't work out. Or if people give you these answers in a row, probably this is the category of thing they want, or whatever it is in your industry that's relevant to what they're trying to do. If you add that value consistently, if you're sending whatever it is, sending a mail to your manager every week or whatever it is, when they come and fire people, you're not going to be fired. You're going to be asked to lead the change. And you might actually find your role changing from being a call center agent to being somebody who helps to develop this call center robot, let's call it that. And you're on the side of change. Obviously that won't work for every single person, but in whatever industry you're in, if you apply creativity and resourcefulness in that way, by adding value to the process that's already happening, you can't guarantee it, but your chances of keeping your job or even improving your job are higher. So that's one way to keep it super practical.
But and then the invent of that, so what I actually like, I've seen like online courses that actually can teach you about, to whatever extent, like be it about coding, like being a basic data scientist, and those things are online for free. Like I think everyone should just get off their chair and just like look for something online. Just teach yourself.
I disagree with that. I disagree with that because we're going back to when we all need to be technicians and learn the tools of the trade. Some people are doing that already, and they can do it better than you can, and you won't be able to catch up. Like if you want to learn it for interest, by all means do it. But if you want to learn it in order to profit from it and you're not in that industry, you may find you're slowing yourself down. Learn how to use it. If you can use it in your industry and enhance what you're doing with it, you're at a much better position than everybody else in your industry. So for me, that's the really important part. If we learn how to use, if you look at any kind of development, people who use the tools that are developed are the ones that kind of prosper, not the ones who can make the tools.
I'm glad you've highlighted that. So the approach shouldn't be to learn this stuff so you yourself are going to create something to profit from, but rather use it and learn it in the way to most effectively be able to apply it to whatever you're doing in your own context.
And that way, because it's got the capacity to
make you
expand,
better. And you actually add more value to it because people can learn how to make the tool itself
because
better.
the people who make the tools, they don't really understand what video editing is about. They're like, what?
I think to feed on to his point, like, it's all about, the one thing that computers can never take from us is our experience in the form of user experience, right? So you can get a computer to like build a car, right? But it doesn't know like from like
what you enjoy about
like when I'm in the car, like that comfort, like what is it like there's no
sound, you know?
So it's basically that. So that's so our, in actual sense, our IP is literally you're gonna be the key to surviving. So and your IP does not mean necessarily like an idea to build something that like even your creativeness is your IP or whatever. It's your intellectual property.
So then I specifically then want to encourage all of our ignorant millennials. If there are terms we've said in the show so far that you want to know more about, or just something that sparks something in you, please go and research it, learn how to, as Trevor advised, how you can use all these tools around you to make what you do better, how you can understand your process and function that could even improve how things are done in your space. And guys, today was a much more practical show. I like that. Closing statements, how do we feel about it?
I'm personally excited. I'm can't wait to see what's next. I think there's amazing things that are coming. Hopefully I can be one of the people who make the amazing things and I make lots of money. But if that doesn't happen, I'll still just watch from the terraces and enjoy it. And I think I would like what I try to do in my personal life is help other people to just in their space without going too far from what they're doing, use what's there and improve their lives in that way.
Cool.
Yeah, from my side, I'm just particularly worried about privacy. When technology comes, concern about
what is privacy. What's that now?
Like, all your information is out there to specific individuals,
and dead.
And it can. So I hear you.
This is the theory now.
That's my concern. That like even in as much as it's dead, but there's certain stakeholders who have it and who will use it to their gain or for manipulation. And I think that part is worrying. Like this is not just. I mean, it's not only your personal banking details. I mean, like even things that have existed even now, like your simple things, like even like you sending some wrong text to somebody else and so forth, all those stuff. So I think that's my concern with privacy, and I'm sure like even with the Huawei and US thing, the war is really about privacy. Is who will have the access to all the information of those people using 5G. That's all it is there. That's my concern about it.
For me, just like quickly, the scariest thing I know is that I know my phone is listening to me 24/7.
Oh,
because certain times I'll talk about a thing and then I start seeing ads about
that happened, right?
And also, everybody's phone here, if you're using Google in any capacity, they're listening to you 24/7. They're recording it somewhere, they're mapping it to whatever, and they're shipping ads to you on that. So privacy for who?
I'm scared, man.
Guys, we're all scared. So there's good things, there's bad things, but essentially embrace what's coming. Ignorance, you made a great step in actually watching this show. Please don't forget to like and subscribe and go watch all of our previous shows. Thank you so much from my side.
Thank you very much.
Trevor, thank you, man.
Like a little
you enjoyed that.
So
Trevor,
we changed venues, went to a neutral venue right now. That's why there's no fight. I can't fight him where I don't know who's going to pitch out for me.
Guys, thank you guys. Cheers.
All right, cool.
Thank you.